what is going on? Pretty interesting day today. Yesterday morning I was on Facebook and I saw in one of the Facebook groups that I'm part of that someone was selling a boat, and I was like, that boat is interesting, I could work on that boat. So about 10 emails later, just got home from going and checking it out, and I am now the proud owner of this small little fiberglass, well, they call it a speedboat. I don't know if it's actually a speedboat, but it's like a fiberglass dinghy. This is slightly longer than the tinny is that you've seen in all my videos. It's going to require quite a lot of work to get it to a point where I'm really happy with it. It's going to be like fully sandblasted, remove all the old gel coat, all the old paint, total repaint, fix up a few things, fiberglass up a few things, remove the seats, full false floor, a couple of pedestal seats in there. But came with a sounder, came with a battery, feels structurally pretty good, so I'm happy. So this is the first time I've actually seen the boat in proper daylight, and there's a few things that I'm a little bit concerned about, but all in all it looks alright. So what I've started to do now is I've just started to basically like strip it, pull everything that I can off it. So bimini's gone, sounder cabling is gone. It's very much a bare hull right now. Next thing to remove is rod holders. I am thinking about cutting out the seats. I think they are structural, so we'll be adding some kind of ribs in to replace those. But all in all, I'm actually not too worried. The paint's coming off quite easily, which is good. I want to chip all of that off. Still trying to work out whether the best option there is to grind it off, to like use a fiberglass friendly stripper, to manually sand it. I don't know, I'm going to work that out. Rod holders have to be drilled out because they're using rivets in them. This metal trim around the edges will all come off. This will be sanded back. The rubber gunwale will all be removed. The outside actually has no dings and feels very solid. So my thinking there is that we'll probably just wet and dry that back and repaint from scratch, which is cool. A few little things to be a little bit concerned about. The transom feels solid. There is no bend in it at all. Like I'm moving the whole boat right now. But when I tap, it's solid, so it feels good. So we'll get into stripping and see how it goes. That's original. Oh wow. This is what happens when you have to remove hundreds of rivets at once. Not cool. That's actually like a weapon. Could remove the paint with that actually. That is bad form. So I've just managed to get the rubber gunwale here, and I've got this piece which was wedged on there, like that, and screwed in. So I've managed to get that screw out, which was a mission. This piece comes off, that's screwed in there, then I think that just pulls out all the way around. Be good to get that off now, see how the red piece is attached to the hull, and yeah, potentially go and replace this piece of rubber that strips around the whole boat and keeps it all attached. As I'm pulling, come down. As I'm pulling, you can see it's pulling off these chunks of fiberglass. It's pulling out these big chunks here and leaving them inside the rubber where it's been. There it is there. I can get that out. So that would have been attached there. This has been slid along it the whole way around the boat. I think this is original, so it's probably 25, maybe 30 years old, maybe more. Alright, so we've begun the arduous task of removing all the old glue that was attaching the old rubber to both pieces of the hull. It's not going to be an easy one. I guess it's going to be one of the roadblocks that we hit. It's going to take quite a long time to chip away at this. So I've got a wire, like sort of sanding plate drill bit. I just thought it might work to remove some of the crap glue off the old boat. I just tried it and I think it's going to be pretty effective. Maybe move around this side so you don't die. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good for that. Probably 75% of the way to removing all of the old glue from the rubber surround. I can show you what that looks like now. So this is what it looks like where it's mostly gone, in pretty good shape, and then you've still got sort of these big chunks that are quite hard to remove. But I'll be able to get that off either through grinding or chipping it off, so that'll be good. And yeah, most of it's gone off the top layer. On the bottom layer, there's still little bits, but that'll be easily grinded off, so that's going to be grinded. But all in all, making good progress. Next challenge I think is going to be working out how to remove this paint. I am not excited about that. I have no idea how that's going to work out, but tell you what, I just got this by chance and it's been a very useful tool. Pretty impressed with this actually. It's been awesome. Quick status update, we're about an hour later, got almost all of the glue off here. It's actually very smooth in some of the areas, which is nice. Where it's not, it's mostly fiberglass, so you can sort of see where it's been a hard job. So mostly smooth this full half, which is nice. And then on this side, yeah, there's still plenty more to go. Probably another hour to get that totally cleaned up, which will be good when that's done. Took a break while the batteries on the drill are charging, and thought I would remove this ply plate, see if there's anything scary under that, and also remove the sort of transponder for the finder. So that's now gone, and I've just put the screws back in there so that no water leaks in there while we're working on it. So I'm just going to pull this off this plate. I've just unscrewed it and see if there's any horrors that sit behind it. Well, it's had a few different engines on it. There's quite a few holes there. It actually looks quite solid. I'll have to to go get a hammer and a few little knocks and see what's going on, but it doesn't feel bad at all, surprisingly. They've filled these other holes, so that's positive. Yeah, keep playing, time will tell. We've made quite good progress today. I will be moving on tomorrow to potentially removing the seats and I think starting to fill up some of these holes here. We've got holes here, so we'll need some epoxy to fill those. We'll need ultimately then to grind that back and wet and dry sandpaper them. So to get it all smooth, ready for being primed and then painted. But all in all, coming together nicely. Good morning and welcome to day 2. So today the weather is terrible. It is raining relatively badly, so I think I'm going to try and get the boat under cover into the garage. Today is filling some holes that I managed to remove things from yesterday, so that'll be cool. Remove some holes, start to prep the hull, at least the top side of the hull for paint, which is exciting. I need to cut out the seats. I'll probably do that. Probably will do that today, or I'm going to try and do that today and see how hard that is, and yeah, finish the edges so that it's ready for us to put a floor in. I'm not sure how we're going to do the floor yet. I think we'll probably just end up getting some pine or something, covering that with epoxy, and then fiberglassing that to the floor and to the sides for strength and rigidity. So that's my play at the moment. I just wanted to mention, I don't know what I'm doing right now with this boat. I don't know how really you work with fiberglass. I've never worked with a fiberglass boat before. I've had my plate alloy, my aluminium tinny for a very long time, and I know that boat inside out. I've never worked with fiberglass, so I thought this would be a really cheap, easy, fun experiment to get into. I was saying to my wife yesterday, like, bar spending too much money, nothing is off limits with this boat. This is the boat where I want to do things to it that I wouldn't do to any other, to a good boat, to an expensive boat. This is experimental zone, and if I learn and if it's awesome, then it gives me the confidence to go and embark on a bigger project. If I don't like it, if the experience isn't good, then I haven't gone too deep, I haven't spent too much, and that's, I guess, the real reason why I'm doing it. It's something that I'm excited about. I am really, really passionate about boating, about being on the water, and it's been fun. Yesterday, my first sort of full day with the boat was hard. It was definitely not easy. There are a few things where I was like, wow, this one task that I thought I would be able to get done in 5 minutes is going to take me 3 or 4 hours. And, you know, removing the glue, the paint from around where the rubber sort of rub rail or gunwale or buffer sat, that took a very long time, and that threw me a little bit, because I thought that would be something that would be quite easy for me to execute on, and turns out it wasn't at all. But in saying that, I don't know, I think that's just working on stuff, and especially boats, right? There's always more money, there's always more time. You never really know what's going on, you know, below the floor until you start working on it. So it's not easy, but I think it's definitely a worthwhile project, and I'm excited to see how we go. So I'm about to get home. I'm going to get out the filler and start to fill some holes and work out what we can do next. Stay tuned. Alright, well, the old seats have been removed. The bulk of the seats have been removed. I've got to now try and work out how to get off these edges. Alright, these edges have been more challenging than I expected. Getting in under the side of the boat with that slope there has been quite hard to cut. So we've tried hacksaw with rotated blade edge, so you can sort of cut sideways, but even that's very, very difficult. My buddy Sailing Yak has got a multi-tool with a rotatable end, so we're going to try that and see how that goes and see if we can remove these. Let's check it out.
Going on the west side, looking for sunrise, waiting for you and hearing the explosions under the ocean, waiting for the world to die. I don't know who you are, but you can show me tonight. Hold my hand, let's go anywhere you wanna go. Pick me up and drive.
Okay, so that has been a very, very challenging session. Removing seats was more difficult than we thought it would be. So cut the seats out and then had to use a multi-tool to cut them off at the base, and then a lot of sanding. We need to get some more coarse sandpaper for the sander, but this is what it's starting to look like. So it is coming off quite well. That one there, that one there's literally just been cut. There's no sanding done to that one, but it's working pretty well. It's working pretty well. That one there's looking pretty good as well. So when they're filled and sanded back, I think it'll come together quite nicely. So yeah, now to fill some of these little holes. Finished up for the afternoon and going to have a bit of a fish with a few friends. There's a little freshwater pond not far from here, so we're going to go down there and see what we can get down in the way of, I don't know, some fun little noxious tilapia or something. So that'll be interesting. Where we ended up today, so seats are probably 70% done. Still got to grind away at the base of the seats there, try and remove the, I don't know, where they sort of were fiberglassed in. There's probably a few mil on that one and that one. This side here's got a little bit more to do. It doesn't look too bad from the side when you actually look at it, but it does have to be grinded back. The other thing I've done is I've started to bog up some holes. So these are the holes here that the canopy, the bimini top are clamped onto. This one here, there are two holes there were from the oars, the oar mount. That one there, I'm going to actually put something in that and then fill around it because it's probably a bit too big to try and throw some other marine epoxy putty straight in there. Beyond that, yeah, not huge progress today, but I don't know, these are things that I think you just work out that you've got to get done. It's certainly taken a while to get the seats out. Definitely made the boat look and feel a lot bigger, a huge amount bigger actually. When you look at it from a distance, it's very open now, which is super nice. So it is coming together, but it's going to take quite a bit more time at this stage. I'm happy so far, but plenty more work to be done. So yeah, we'll get back tomorrow. We'll sand back all of these bits of putty, and hopefully we'll find a way to grind these back to their flush, and that's so I can start to fill them as well. That would be very, very good use of time. So it'd be awesome to get it to a point where it's ready for primer next week. It's probably a long shot at this stage, but that's what I'm aiming for. Apart from that, really happy with how it's coming together. It's hard work. It's a lot of things I haven't done before that I'm trying to learn, but I don't know, all in all, I think it's going to be very worthwhile. Good work in progress. Good experiment. Learning a huge amount. So I guess all those things together are what makes it worthwhile. Anyway, see you guys later. Good morning and welcome to day 3 out on the boat. I managed to find the ultimate sander, this big belt sander thing. It's burning through it really nicely. I think I just did about 5 minutes work on this and it's just cleaned it right up. It's going to need filling, but I'm stoked with the way it's sort of coming up. So that's a really easy, quick way to get to the bottom of those issues. Then sand back some of these holes. You can see I've done a couple of them already. That is very smooth, which is nice. Same on this side. Wouldn't even, if you weren't looking at it, you wouldn't even notice that there was a hole there. So still got to tidy up these ones up here. Tidy up those two. Fill this one. But it's coming together quite nicely. That one there still got to go back right from scratch. But we're well and truly on our way. Alright, time to fill the holes where the ore fittings went in. So they're quite big holes. I don't just want to jam a whole lot of putty in there because I feel like it's not going to gain much traction to anything and there's a lot to go in there. So what I've done is I've made a couple of little dowels. They are going to just temporarily be glued basically on the inside of this hole. So I'm going to slide them underneath there. I'm going to use this to go through the bottom of the hole and hold it against there. It's going to set the glue there, and then basically I'll have this surface just underneath the hole. You'd imagine that being underneath there will give me a nice solid surface to putty on, to add my bog up against. Now it's an epoxy bog, so it's basically going to seal this in anyway, and it's going to provide some really nice waterproof seal on the top there. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. Who knows if it'll work or not, but I'm going to try. So what I'm doing here is, because these holes were way too big for me to fill just by jamming putty in them, I've literally got a small little piece of offcut. I've coated it so that it's waterproof and watertight. I've put a bit of glue on the end of it and a bit of masking tape around that, and I've literally just slotted it inside the hole, and now I'm pulling it up while the glue sets. Now what that means is, the glue's starting to set now, I can now let go of that bit of masking tape. And what that's essentially going to mean is, yeah, I'm just pulling that feels very solid. So I can now cut that masking tape off and fill directly over the hole. And I've now got something there to brace the inside of the hole that looks like that. Which means you're not burning too much filler, and you can have a nice solid piece on the inside to hold it together. So that's what I'm working on right now. Alright, as I prep for filler, we've pulled off the old plates, the metal plates that were on here that you used to the engine bolted up against, and I've also removed yesterday we removed the plate off the back here, the piece of ply. Realised how many different engines and different varying mounts have been on here over the years. So I'm going to fill all of these holes. The only holes I'm not going to fill at this stage are these two, which are the ones that the sounder attaches to, just because I'd rather keep them clean. It worked and it was solid, so I'm going to do that. I'm also going to fill these two holes at the top here. We will re-screw into there, but in keeping it all neat and clean, I'd like to get them all filled and solid, and then re-drill where they should be, not where they were necessarily. So I'm getting pretty close to getting ready to do another round of filler. Just found a spot that we filled yesterday. A little bit of oh, excuse the boat, by the way, it's been loosened at the front, so it's literally just hovering there. Put a bit there and a bit on the corner here. It almost looks like blue tack when you add it, but I've just been using the power sander with not a particularly coarse blade on the end of it, and I can clean that right up pretty nicely, which is good. Let's give it a go. And that, I don't know if you can see it, there was a big crack there. It's very nicely filled. So once that's got primer over it and we've sanded that back, you won't even know that was there. Very good. Let's try and do this corner piece. That edge there is not too bad. Might need a little bit of tidying up, but it looks pretty good. Thought I would share another tip that most people forget when they do things like work on a little project is, you know, as I remove things, like this screw, I want to remember when I'm putting it all back together where different screws came from, what different parts were used for. And when there's quite a few parts, you start to forget. So I've got this little process that I like. I just get these little Ziploc bags, write on the front of them what's in them, and it keeps it really easy down the track when you need to know, you know, oh man, what kind of self-tapping screw was I using to attach the sounder? And I can literally grab that and I can get new ones, or I can use the ones that I had if they're still good. But it's a process that I use, and I do it with everything. I just try to label everything, keep it organized, because when it comes to putting it all back together, I think it makes life a lot easier. So I've just done a clean up before I sand the little gashes here that I've just filled up. But it's looking like a very different boat now from when we started, and it's only going to look more different in the next few days. So I'm excited. Should be fun to get it going. Okay, so I finished up for the day. I've been around to all of those sections that I sealed up earlier, and that I filled, and I've just gone over and sanded them back so they're nice and smooth. All of these ones are the same. All these ones are the same. They're all filled now, which is good. I also went around the side, and what I've done is I've actually used just an epoxy and just painted it to just make sure I reseal that whole outer edge. We will add a whole new layer of seal to it when we put the new rubber around the edge, but yeah, I thought it was a good idea to try and seal it up now. You can see a bit of it sagging there. So that'll all get resealed. This one here requires a little bit more bog added to it just to tidy that up a bit, but that's all right. So again, really good progress. I'm really happy with how the seats have been grinded back. They're looking very good. That just needs a little bit of bog in there to tidy it up, and that should look quite nice. The floor's coming together as well. So basically I've just been here with a friend, and we've just been measuring it all up and working out what we can do for the floor. At this stage, it's going to be build in and epoxy in some sort of floor foundations. So you've got basically a like bracing underneath it, and that bracing will also extend up the sides in a couple of places for increased rigidity now that the seats are gone. And then it'll be a flat marine ply floor that'll be carpeted all the way up to about here, which is about halfway up the boat. And then it'll be a step up that'll be about a foot higher, and then that will run all the way up to beyond the front of this seat. We thought about removing this seat, but I know that's providing a lot of strength there, so don't want to do that. So the idea is that it'll be flat floor to here, storage compartments all in here. That's a huge amount of storage, which will be awesome. And then flat floor behind here, driver's seat with a pedestal. We'll probably have a seat that can be also added on to there. And all in all, I think it'll come together really nicely. So heaps more to get done, but I think it's going to look good. That's the plan for now. It'll no doubt change, but I feel good about where we're at. So good progress, and happy with how it's going.
Let it ride, let it